On the eve of International Women's Day, the Geneva Centre for Human Rights Advancement and Global Dialogue organised a debate and book presentation entitled Muslim Women Between Stereotypes and Reality, an Objective Narrative. The debate was an occasion for the Geneva Centre to present its latest publications. The discussion sought to show that no country in the world has a perfect record on women's rights and gender equality, and there is a felt need for cooperation in order to reach equality.
Human rights are universal, and as such there is a need for caution when calling for exceptions to the Universal Declaration on Human Rights on the basis of national values. It is rightly said that universal rights apply to Muslim and Islamic societies, and their values must adapt accordingly. We are told that we have ratified the international covenants, and we should respect them. And there is no reason why the same argument should not also apply to European and Western countries.
Muslim women are particularly subject to misconceptions and stereotypes. Coming from a different religion and a different culture, they often raise interrogations and sometimes negative perceptions. There is a whole myth about Muslim women. They are often perceived as oppressed and submissive, not able to choose their destiny. We really need to elucidate this narrative and to deconstruct the myth.
The project aims to explain and analyze, by a post-colonial approach, discursive frameworks across the Swiss legislative arena, not the media, but the discourse inside the parliament, and the institutionalization of Islamophobia in the country. We show how institutional Islamophobic discourses and policies can encourage Muslim women to engage in cultural whitening in Switzerland. We show how the relation between gender and Islamophobia influenced the building of a national identity at the federal level, not at the cantonal. No? Our results show that the Swiss parliamentary debate between 2001 and 2015 concerning Islam and women's rights is strictly correlated with the construction of an interior enemy.
Muslim women have become a combat zone in a struggle for cultural and national identity and are exposed to attacks either by Western or Muslim ideologists. It seems to me that the acceptance of visible diversity is one of the most challenging issues that pluralistic and liberal societies in Europe has to cope with currently. As many researchers and politicians have observed, in theory, all categories of fundamental human rights are guaranteed in European societies. But when it comes to establish a living culture that respects visible diversity of religion and culture, we are confronted with huge struggles and challenges.
During the interactive question and answer session, former Ambassador George Papadopoulos pondered on the attitude of right-wing movements in Europe towards women, and Muslim women in particular.
They exclude the Muslim women from the identity, the national identity of the European state. This is the problem. Not only the immigrants, but also the Muslim women that are Italian, French, or Swiss. This is the most important problem, because they deal with Islam like a foreigner corpus inside the territory.
Ms. Mahtab Marzouk asked a question related to the concrete measures that should be taken to build more tolerance and to tackle everyday discrimination acts against Muslim women.
We are living always in societies mechanisms of othering other people. It can be on ethnical grounds, on religious grounds, on cultural grounds. And now what, for example, happens in Germany or in Switzerland is the idea of normalization of religious diversity, visible religious diversity in public spheres. So that is not something strange anymore.
The panel concluded by observing that globalization implies diversity and consequently necessitates its acceptance.
The arrival of women from the Middle East because of the situation in Syria and Yemen and in those countries has taken them by surprise. I hope it's just a transitional problem. There must be an adaptation to the 21st century by everybody, where you cannot have, you want to have globalization with a human face.